I don't think that there will be a better player available in next year's draft. Now, will quarterback go off the board first? There's no debate that he's going to be the first cornerback if he stays healthy through this season and has the year that we expect him to have. I mean, he could win the Jim Thorpe Award if he stays healthy, bell to bell, plays every game, and goes through the year, without the chaos of what was experienced last season. And potentially, he could be in the discussion for the number one pick in the draft.
Is there a safer pick on the board? I mean, no.
I can't think of one. Yeah, or whoever.
No, but I'm talking about safe. You know exactly what you're getting with Derek Stingley Jr. You're getting a absolute lockdown corner that's going to play for 10 years, and you don't even have to sweat it.
We don't ever speak about him transitioning from high school into the starting cornerback of the 2019 national championship squad as a true freshman, and nobody batted an eye. Nobody really talked about and gave him the respect of that. And Dave Aranda, I believe we asked him on live radio when he accepted the Baylor job, because he could now start to tell those stories. But when Stingley came in for practice in between his senior season and the Fiesta Bowl, when they were preparing for Central Florida, Aranda was telling people he's the best cornerback that we have on the roster. And I believe, was it Greedy? They had a pro.
No, Christian Fulton.
Christian Fulton was on that team. And Aranda was like, the senior in high school is the best. And he might be the best player on the team. Like,
as a freshman. Before he's a freshman.
And he steps into his true freshman season. And I thought he was the best cornerback in America.
It was on, I mean,
forget the classification. Forget the freshman. The Texas play that he made on Dumervay was incredible. The way that he defended the Georgia SEC championship game, and the way that he just was a shutdown all season. I mean, the Florida game in the first half, they went after him.
Just goes to show how good Pitts was, though.
Him and Devonta Smith.
That's what they're going to get on the draft day.
Were great. So, I mean, you're talking 2 top 10 picks, Smith and Pitts, that have gotten the best of him when he was a freshman. And, last year, I'm taking off the board. I would even say that NFL scouts are saying, last year was
an anomaly.
Absolutely. Let's see what happens.
I just don't think I've never seen anybody this talented, this good, and just fly under the radar almost, because it's expected.
You expect it.
But it's unbelievable, right?
He has that LeBron, Tiger Woods.
This is the blueprint.
He's going to be great, and he's better than you say he was going to be. Like, who thought that LeBron James could outlive the hype?
And he did.
Who thought that Tiger Woods was going to be better than you thought he was going to be? I'm not saying that Derek Stingley Jr. is that type of athlete or comes with that cachet, but he came with that type of hype into LSU. I mean, when he was coming into LSU, he was the best corner that we had ever seen in recruiting. Since he's got here, what has he been? He's been the best cornerback in college football. Chris Jarrell said Derek is a top 10 pick, but a corner hardly goes ever number one.
Patrick Peterson.
They don't. Peterson was what, 6?
No, he went 5 or 6. I was saying top 10. Like, I thought he was going to. Yeah.
Jeff Okudah just went 3rd.
Yeah, it happens Detroit, now. You need these players.
To Detroit 2 seasons ago.
He's better than him.
It depends on who's on the board first, and when you talk about what's going into cornerbacks, and now the necessity and the need that NFL teams put into that position. I'm not saying he's going number 1. But I am saying, like you've seen throughout years past, I mean, I believe that Patrick Peterson was the number 1 player on the board when he was going into that draft. People knew that he was the best football player on the board, but people had needs. Cam Newton went first to Carolina because they needed a quarterback, and Cam was a great prospect. But when it got down to like the discussion of who's the best football player, who's the best prospect in this draft, it's probably Peterson. Stingley's probably, I'm not saying that because he's the best prospect that he goes number 1, but like Lloyd said, I think that's a great way to describe it. Is there anybody safer?
You're not losing your job drafting Stingley.
I mean, like we talked about the checklist that you're looking for at quarterback, when you're going down the checklist of NFL prospects, give me one that checks more boxes in a draft than Stingley. And I'm talking about off the field stuff too. He's as safe of a pick on and off the field. And not only that, I mean, once we started talking about marketing, promotion, all that stuff, I mean, he's a dream.
It's gorgeous.
He's a dream. Stingley, to me, is somebody that could set the precedent of what the or what name, image, and likeness can be. He's not going to have enough time to experience what it really is, but he's got the name where he can step into this thing once it becomes live in August, and a big law firm in town could throw him $100,000 just to put a hat on in a post game once he leaves Tiger Stadium and says, "Hey, do you mind going to this restaurant, sitting down, and say, the D guarantee, whatever it was,
Is that what he said? Is that a thing?
I mean, think about how many
the
lawyers.
cat doesn't talk.
Did you just start it, or is that a thing?
Think how many lawyers around
No,
town
I'm talking
use
about
their.
the D guarantee.
I'm sure he can issue.
So we can promise.
He could probably issue the D guarantee in much more ways than taking away the football in the air.
I don't even know why I asked that. Really, I shouldn't have even asked
You
you.
walked
to
into that
expand on
trap.
it. I did. My
But
bad.
I would say this: if he's healthy, he goes through the season and has the year that we think he has. Let's just say he has 2 clicks below we think he has. He's a top 3 pick. I'd put my name on it today, right now, that if he goes through the year and he's an All-American, he doesn't even win the Thorpe Award. He's an All-SEC and he's an All-American guy, and he's got 5 interceptions and
1 punt return, 2.
And a couple of punt returns.
Let's go over under 1.5. What do you think?
Under. I mean, he's been on campus for 2 years and he's got 0.
I know, but they're
I'd have lost the bet on.
2019 they did it for a reason. Like, we don't have to do anything. Get us the ball and we're going to score. 2020 we needed some action back there and it was just a disaster. I think if you want to get the draft machine rolling on Stingley, you have to put him on offense. If he wants to go, like, you could get the cachet of him playing and him playing well.
I don't need it.
Yeah, you do.
But
you want it.
I don't need it. I'm telling you, Lloyd, if Derek Stingley Jr. got hurt on a jet sweep.
I didn't even like him out there yesterday. Saturday.
Or running a post route, I would never forgive Orgeron. And if I'm Derek Stingley Sr.
What if he wins the game for you?
If I'm Derek Stingley Sr. and he tears a tendon in his ankle running a jet sweep,
talk about that
you would have to keep me out of. You would have to.
Go, you? My goodness.
And even him.
Oh, yeah.
And even him.
Papa Bear.
Absolutely.
But I'm saying he can. Imagine him winning a game. Stop going worst case scenario, best case scenario.
He could win the Heisman.
He could win. He should.
I mean, if he returns 2 punts and he picks off 6 passes and they put him on offense for 2 games and he catches 3 passes and 1's for a touchdown, he's in New York.